Hi everybody, my name is Jaden.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And we are Yahoo, the Torah YouTube channel.
And we are your family. You guys are our family. If you will accept us, we totally accept you guys. We have a lot of adopted friends, family, people out there. We know who our brothers and sisters are because Messiah says that those who keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahuwah. And who is Yahuwah, Jade?
He is our creator. He is the person who made us. He is, people know him as Lord God. He is the person that Moses, when he's talking, he goes, "What shall I tell Pharaoh your name is?" He goes, "I am that I am," and that is Yahuwah.
Yes, and so Yahuwah is our Elohim, Most High, and we are the people that believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are good for all time, for all generations, for everybody. And if you will embrace them, if you will bring them into your life, then your life will dramatically change. Your ways will change, your deeds will change, everything will change. It doesn't make everything better. It doesn't make everything easy. It doesn't make an easy road, but it makes a covenant road. And the covenant road is what we are after. Because we are seeking our Creator. We're seeking His Son. We're seeking the kingdom to come. Since we don't know how we built the world, we don't know how creation was, we don't know how to create everything, all we can depend upon is our Creator, who has given us a set of rules, a set of guidelines, a set of instructions, and He has protected it and passed it down throughout the ages so that we are able to have it today, so there's no mystery to what the world is, and that is the world that we're at. So here we are, guys. We are in the book of Writings of Abraham. And yesterday, somebody want to toss some history on us. Anybody? And I think Cade's asleep, so that anybody would have to be you, Jade.
Yeah, I'm. So just say we talked about
Jade Rockham.
Lot running, a lot running away, and him getting out of Sodom. Him ended up playing with his daughters, and he said that Yahuwah commanded him to, but in the regular scripture doesn't say that, so we don't actually know what the true story is on that. But that's what it said, and he was blessed, and he had children of Moab and Ammon.
Yeah, and afterward we discussed this just a little bit, and we don't think that the whole having the wives was legitimate. Is that correct?
Right. He said he had wives with him when he went out of there, but I don't think he would have had wives because the way it's talked about in Genesis, it's talked about like there's nobody for him to have kids with.
If this was the writings of Abraham, he would have known that Lot came out with other wives. As far as what happened in the cave with the daughters, we don't really know. But we don't think that there was a wife involved because it's very, very clear that the daughters thought they were the end of the generations. Like the Lot was going to be gone. And if Lot had a wife, then the entire incestual relationship that started right there doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right, so let's get going, guys. 124. Here we go. After the destruction of the cities of the plains, I, Abram, journeyed to the south of the land of Gerar. Now the sovereign of the land of Gerar was Abimelech, and he was the one who worshipped the Most High Elohim, and he was just and upright in all his ways. And Abimelech had entered the Kodesh order of Elohim, and was a Kohen and a sovereign after the order of the Most High Elohim, and had received the rights and ordinances of the Besorah. As a youth, he had dwelt with me in the city of Shalom, and he was as a brother unto me, and we shared all things. When Sarah and I went in unto Abimelech to commune with him, the Ruach of Yahuwah fell upon Abimelech, and he baraked Sarah in great outpourings after the order of the ancients, and anointed her, that she might bear Kodesh seed. And we rejoiced in the barakah of Yahuwah unto Sarah, though the three Kodesh men from the city of Canak, through the three Kodesh men from the city of Canak, and through his servant Abimelech. And the Ruach of Yahuwah fell upon me also, and I barak her, and anointed her, that the Ruach of Yahuwah might fall upon her in a greater outpouring to the sanctification of herself and her seed. And we rejoiced together for 3 nights and 2 days, and worshiped Yahuwah our Elohim, and were filled with joy and peace in the barakah of Yahuwah unto us. Now, where in scriptures do we hear that Abimelech is cursed and they need to wipe off the face of Abimelech?
It's in Genesis, that's later during the Torah, but I mean, it talks about Abimelech.
Where's that?
Is this the same Abimelech?
I don't think so. I don't think this is him, because when he talks about Abraham and Abimelech, talks about him lying to him about Sarah, and Sarah's his sister, and he ends up getting all his people cursed. Same thing kind of like happened in Egypt.
Eli, is there separate Abimelechs here?
I think so, because I know that they've got. I think it's his child or something. Because I know that they're Abimelech. Every generation, they're named Abimelech.
Okay, yeah. So that doesn't, because this is what we're up against right now. Because you have the self-proclaimed state of Israel. That is, they're using a verse of take out Abimelech. And they're basically saying the Palestinians are Abimelech, and there is Mystical's looking at me like, don't get us a strike, don't do this. No, Abimelech. So right now they're basically saying we have to destroy all of Abimelech, and that is they're quoting these as they rock into Palestine and turn the entire place to rubble, and it's crazy. Okay, let's continue on. And I couldn't remember that about the Abimelech. So let's continue on. 125. The next night, after Sarah and I returned to our camp, Abimelech was seated upon his throne, praying, when a sleep from Yahuwah fell upon him, and he slept there all that night. And while he slept, he dreamed a dream in which a messenger of Yahuwah with a drawn sword in his hand came and stood above him. And Abimelech was frightened at the messenger. But the messenger said unto him, Fear not, for because thou hast faithfully entered into the rites and ordinances of my Besorah, and hast walked a Kadesh walk before me, and didst uphold Shem and Abram after him in the work which I have called them to do, in maintaining my Kodesh order in the earth. Behold, I am sent to stand by thy side, and shall protect thee against all the power of the adversary. For thy sins are forgiven, thee and thine exaltation is sure, and thou shalt dwell in the presence of thy Elohim. So saying, the messenger departed from the vision of Abimelech, but he felt his presence near him from that time forth, and the adversary thereafter exercised no power over him. So this is an interesting thing, because if this writings of Abraham are correct, then Abimelech grew up with Abraham. They grew up in the city together.
Right.
They were brothers. They knew Yah. And if you are going to make it to the city of Shalom, right, you're not going to be King Nimrod, right? They're not going to accept people like King Nimrod or people outside of Yah's people into that. And so they had grown up together, and it's interesting that he left. I don't know any of the history of that. Somehow, at some point, Abimelech left the city of Shalom and started ruling or reigning or something of the sort. And I'm sure somebody out there, history, maybe Brother Glenn would know a little bit more about Abimelech on this case. And if you can, Brother Glenn, if you can get that to us, we'll read that off tomorrow. If you have anything in your little treasure trove of notes. Okay, 126. We had dwelt in Gerar 9 months, when the 3 Kodesh men of Elohim again visited us, and Sarah gave birth to a son. And on the 8th day he was circumcised according to the commandment of Yahuwah to me, and I called his name Yitzchak. The child grew, and when he was 3 years old, he was weaned, and I made a great feast on the day he was weaned. And Melchizedek, sovereign of Shalom, with Eber, his heir, and Abimelech, sovereign of Gerar, with his son, Abimelech, and Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, father of Hagar, and Ishmael. And all the mighty princes of the land came to the feast which I had prepared. For these were the men whom I loved, with my brethren, Anaram, Eshcol, and Mamre. Now, Father Abraham was a made man, right? He was to hang out with all of these different kings. He was the man's man, right? You don't hang out with kings unless you have something worthy of their want or need to hang out with you. That's just how it is. Okay, 4. My father, Terach, also, and my brother Nachor came unto the feast, having heard that Sarah had borne a son. And we all rejoiced before Yahuwah for many days that my son Yitzchak had reached the age of weaning from his mother.
Was he cool with Terach after that?
Well, that's the thing, is if you guys remember, Abraham took Terach with him for a little bit,
right,
and then they split up. So they had traveled together for a ways and for a while, but because Terach would not default his pagan gods and all this other stuff, he was not a valid member of the Abraham's tribe there. Okay. Okay, 5. And from that time forth, Sarah and I introduced a lad into the Mishkan and began to instruct him in the mysteries of reverence, that he might be prepared in his youth to enter into the most Kadesh place and be instructed there. For Shem had instructed me in the city of Shalom, that children should be instructed in the Hekel from the age of weaning, which is 3 years old, that they should be instructed in the most Kodesh place from the age of puberty, which is 12 years old, and that they should be endowed with power from on high from the age of maturity, which is 14 years. That's a little different than the world that we live in today, right?
Right.
Most people aren't educated in Yah. Most people have no idea about that. But a proper age, a proper way is 3 years old, right? After they are weaned. Isn't that what he just said?
Yep.
3 years old?
They start.
Yeah, so there you go. So imagine that by the time you're 10, being raised in a temple, being raised in Yah's ways. Okay, 7. But inasmuch as I had not journeyed unto the city of Shalom until I was 10 years old, I was prepared for the Barakah of Yahuwah's house in only a few years. And then we'll do this one, this will be the last one. We'll do 127. My son Yishmael, I did not introduce into Yahuwah's house in his childhood because he was not spiritual in his nature, but he was a hunter, proficient in the use of the bow and other instruments of death. Nevertheless, Yahuwah was with Yishmael and barak him for my sake in all to which he put his hand. When Yitzchak was 5 years old, he was sitting with Yishmael at the door of Hagar's tent, where Yishmael was sharpening his arrows, for Yishmael was 16 years old at the time. And they thus sat at the door of Hagar's tent. Yitzchak picked up one of Yishmael's arrows and broke it. Seeing this, Yishmael grew angry, and taking another arrow, he fitted it into his bow, intending to slay Yitzchak. But Yahuwah touched his heart, so that he did not slay him. But Sarah saw this thing which Yishmael had intended to do to Yitzchak, and she was grieved at it. That night, when I entered the tent of Sarah, she said to me, Let Hagar and her son be sent to dwell apart. For this day did Yishmael seek to slay Yitzchak. Now these words caused me great sorrow, for I did not desire to see my family divided. But that night a messenger of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Hearken unto the words of Sarah, thy wife, and let Hagar and her son Yishmael dwell apart, lest harm come upon thy son Yitzchak, who shall be thine heir. All right, gentlemen, any discussion points? Anyone have anything here to discuss?
That's interesting. It talks a little bit more why he wanted to slay him, because we know Jasher said he aimed a bow and arrow, but we didn't know why. Mm-hmm. Now we know that he was angry about it.
How old would he have been if
he was almost 16, so it's 13 years apart. He probably had his birthday a little different. So
and
these, you tell me Yitzchak broke the arrow at
5 years old. Yeah, he probably
Dude,
playing with sticks.
He was just a kid. He
yeah,
was just tiny.
You have zero idea, man. You guys destroyed everything from the ages.
No, that's what I'm saying. He just a kid. Yishmael can't be that angry.
Well, what do you mean that angry? The kid that's a hunting device. He has his little kid brother. His little kid brother just came over to sit down. In fact, it's not even just his kid brother. It's his kid brother from another mother. And this dude just sat down and busted up one of your slaying devices. Now, an arrow, let's talk about an arrow. Now, an arrow is something that they probably made by hand back then, obviously, right? And what do we know of an arrow? What are the dynamics of an arrow?
It's an arrowhead.
It's like
long stick. It's straight.
It's a long, flat stick. Now, do you guys find trees with sticks that would make good arrows?
Unless you carve them upright.
You carve them upright. So there is a tremendous amount of work that you got to deal with especially if this kid is a master of death, like his dad says he is, right? So he has. These are instruments of his kill. These are instruments of the stuff, and your kid brother just broke it. Whether or not he was going to slay him, he probably picked it up and aimed it at him. Sarah saw it, not happy at all, and thus it was that the kid and the mom are about to take a journey out of there because of this whole action. But is this the right thinking? Is this the right thing? Do we shove the family away because of an incident with the kids?
I don't think that'd be the best thing, but since Isaac was the heir to Abraham, it was probably best.
What is the purpose of Jacob? Or any of them? I mean, what is the point of this them?
To go into the land, take over the land.
It's a lineage thing, right? It is the fruit from Father Abraham, and with the Queen Sarah, that was supposed to be where Messiah came from, right? All of this has to do with protecting the lineage of our Messiah and protecting the reign all the way down. And so Yah did what Yah thought was best, and regardless if the humans had it right or wrong, this is how it went down. Now, before I let everyone go, if anybody's interested in the downloads, I would download a new version of this right now. We have Revision 4 that is on the websites. I haven't made any kind of post at it yet. We'll get a post very soon. You will want to delete your old PDFs, grab the new PDFs, and put them on there, just of Yah's Scriptures. And for anybody that wants to do a pre-order and you want to help them, the prisoners, we have a prisoner ministry where we are attempting to, for every single Bible that is sold, trying to get one Bible into our brothers and sisters in the U.S. prison system. And this is limited edition. There's not going to be a ton of these, 1,000 of them to begin with, and some of them have been sold. And if you do want one, which they are nice, they are 14.5 font, 3 bookmarks, beautiful book. It's going to be a very, very nice book. So if you guys are willing to place your order, they are on pre-order right now. They will be available. We will ship them out in February, late February or March. The second we get them, you guys will all get them and hopefully get them into the prisons very, very soon. So with that, guys, we want to thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with this family, hanging out with us. We love you truly, and we hope that you have a wonderful day.
All right.
Shalom.